Have mercy on we, Biafra. Lord, give us a freedom. Have mercy on we, Biafra, and give us a freedom. Oh Lord, have mercy on we, Biafra, and give us a freedom. Father, we need our leader. Prophet Nnamdi, Kanu. We need our leader. Nnamdi, Kanu. We need our leader. Nnamdi, Kanu. Yeah, man. The evil and wicked British and Fulani Caliphate can't stop the sun from shining from the east of God. So Biafrans all over the globe, are you feeling me, chanting? Why and I feel you from my location, you know. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots to go again. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to where Jehovah rules. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to Biafra city. We are going back to our homeland, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to where Jehovah. We are going back to our homeland, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to Biafra city. I got to tell you, we no fear wicked British, we no fear Britain. We no fear them, Boko Haram. We no fear them, we no fear Fulani Caliphate. We no fear them, we no fear Mietiala. We no fear them, bandit kill. We no fear them, Janjaweed. We no fear them, Al-Qaeda. We no fear Lucifer, we no fear you Satan. We no fear little demons, we no fear Leviathan. We no fear little junkies, little Janjaweed. Obasanjo and his entire generation died and was buried. Not our Biafran. It is business as usual. This is the new generation of Biafran. For your information, if you don't mind, mad people everywhere. Mad people. I have no man. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots to go again. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to where Jehovah rules. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to Biafra cities. We are going back to our homeland, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to where Jehovah rules. We are going back to our homeland, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to Biafra city. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots to go again. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to where Jehovah rules. We are going back to our homeland now, to our roots. Biafra nation is a root. We are going home to Biafra cities. Yerima Shatima, the Boko Haram Big Bill said, when in Lagos the Yorubas can be buying the land for 100,000, and Fulanis we buy them for 150 or 200,000, but on Ibadan we buy his own for 10 million. Can you imagine? Mad people everywhere. So whatever, give them water. Paramazuka, we will Chris, Pastor Bam. I'm seeing Biafra already, man. Yeah, man.
ezi onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, Chukwu okike abịa ma bụ onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye ọbụla naanị ya na-achị, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-erubere isi, onye ọbụla naanị ya bụ ọka aka. Ụbọchị ene ka anyị na-etuga eze ebube dị ngọzi, mmalite na ọgwụgwụ, ndị gboo wee tụọ oge ebighị ebi. Onye nwe m, ụmụ gị wee gbakọọ n'ụwa niile iwe nara ozi ọma nke gị onwe gị n'ezi ha site n'ọnụ mmadụ dị ndụ na nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-asị na onweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị onwe anyị bụ n'ihi na ọ bụ anakpa ahụ sọsọ ka mmadụ dị ndụ bụ. Ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ, maka na okwu nsọ gị na-adịrị ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi, n'ihi na okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu. Ọbịa mere Biafra ga-eji wee bịa na mgbe nke anyị. Anyị wee na-akpọkụ wee na-arịọ gị na-asị, lekwa ude nke anyị na-asụ n'akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka o metụta gị n'obi. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt, gotu wee wezuga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbodo ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị na anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị, wee nye gị nsọpụrụ n'ụtọ na eji ama mgbe niile, n'ihi na anyị enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị. Anyị nwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nsọmụkwụ anyị niile. Ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa mgbọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile. Anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị refe nwanyị bụ isi ala nye ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija mma, na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile ka kasị wee baa ha ọnụ, ha wee daa hapụ ikonye ọzọ. Obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala ọkwa n'ihi eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anyị ọnwa anyị bụ ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkọ ha nsọ gị, na-asị na enweghị chi ọzọ egwezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana nwe onye kere na n'otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị ebi, mara onye bụ ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise ise ise
ise ise. Thank you for joining me tonight. Yes, it is very late, but I have to do this before I go to bed. It's been a very long day for me. I couldn't come live at all earlier today, but tonight the updates are too many. And I had to bring this piece of good news to us. And I greet you all. Thank you for joining me. Some people may not even know that I will come live tonight, but I am here. And by the grace of God, some people might have to see this video later. But those of you that are here, I appreciate you. Thank you, Lolo Ego Ibo. I really appreciate you that you're even awake at this time of the night. Thank you so much. Saint Miri, thank you so much for joining tonight. I greet you. Nnamdi Kanu's prayers are being answered. Nnamdi Kanu's truths have been unveiled. And then the program tonight is meant to get the attention of the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. And now myself and every one of us Biafrans, we want the President to know that now that it is clear, now that the problem of Nigeria have been identified, now that we know who the enemies are, now that we have seen the culprits, I think President Donald J. Trump will have to give Nigeria the ultimatum to release Nnamdi Kanu with immediate effect. I think the Israeli government should give Nigeria a marching order. If UN's instruction is not being obeyed and being adhered to, the world power should now command Nigeria as a matter of urgency to release Nnamdi Kanu immediately. Make them release Nnamdi Kanu. And not only that, we must make them to end this forced unity. All this story of Nigeria can never be divided. Nigeria is one entity. Nigeria is united. That is badadash. And I know now that Donald J. Trump will agree with us that it is badadash. I know now that the United Nations will agree with us that it is badadash. Nigeria can never ever stand, become one or be a country. Now that it is known that Nigerian government, without any doubt, have been paying terrorists. And recently, they bundled together 10 billion naira and paid terrorists. Now, even the terrorists are making videos. The terrorists are making videos telling the whole world that Nigerian government paid them ransom and that they are using the money to buy weapons. I don't understand. If there's anybody that would ever think that anybody wants to continue to be in Nigeria, that person must be sick in the head. For Nigeria to continue, it is to continue this mass murder, this mass slaughter, this mass burial. For you to make Nigeria continue, that's what you want. Now the evidence is clear. The United States Department, from the Office of the President and Intelligence in America, have released their reports. They've released their report. So there's no more hiding. No hiding place. This is the end of the road for Nigeria. I don't care any one of you that hates, that don't like Donald Trump. He's the president of the United States of America. He's the world leader. And they have identified Nigeria to be an enclave of Satan. They have identified that there is a plan to make Nigeria an Islamic state. And they will stop at nothing. They will continue to slaughter Christians. They will continue to target Biafrans. They will continue to unalive people. So there's no more secret, no more hiding it. So everybody that have been accusing these two gentlemen you see behind me, everyone that have been accusing them, lying on them, these two gentlemen are in prison as I speak. The one on my left is in prison in Finland. The one on my right is in prison in Nigeria. And both of them have the same message. And their message is that Nigeria was an Islamic state. And that Nigeria have been determined to destroy their people. And they are not interested in Nigeria. All they wanted was to secure their people. All they wanted was, okay, since Nigeria said we are a nation, we must be one. They said, okay, find out from our people whether they want to be in Nigeria. Let's have a referendum. Nigeria have insistently refused. But if you go to Biafra land today, every Monday is a referendum. Our people have proven that they do not want to be part of Nigeria. They have proven it beyond every reasonable doubt. They do not want any Nigerian governance in Biafra land. They only want to hear Nnamdi Kanu. And they only want their Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. That's all. That's all. And so, with all the evidence I'm going to show you now, it is not because I'm the one that brought it, it's because it is trending. And I am happy that right now, that's what is trending. The president of Nigeria have been put to shame. The wife of the president of Nigeria have disgraced herself. I will bring her video where she, as a pastor, was still denying Christian genocide. Something that is evident, something that America have the evidence, something that the whole world have the evidence, something that the statistics proves that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. But the wife of the president of Nigeria, just like Donald Trump was robbed of his election, this so-called president of Nigeria robbed someone else of election in Nigeria. He never won. That is why today he is paying terrorists. That's why today he is buying people to launder his image, paying people to promote APC. The question now is, please, President Donald J. Trump, have you paid anybody before to win election? Have you paid anybody before to win election? Do you spread money around? Spread bags of rice in America just to win election? Do you do that? That's exactly what this man is doing. That's exactly what they are doing. They are sharing money, sharing food, buying the mind of people. I have this, the evidence is clear. I'm not going to be showing Donald J. Trump the evidence he already knows. So I'm just bringing it out for our people to see. And I am soliciting and pleading with Donald J. Trump. Please, now that you know this truth, bring an end to this nonsense. Make them release Nnamdi Kanu, because this thing you found out now, it is the reason why they locked up Nnamdi Kanu. Is the reason why they condemned him. Is the reason why they called him a terrorist, because he exposed Nigeria as a terrorist country. Let me show you. Our God is great. The God that Nnamdi Kanu serve is a great God. He's a great God. He has always vindicated Nnamdi Kanu. Always. He has always vindicated him. Now you're seeing this with me. This is coming from the State Department. The State Department, Bureau of Counterterrorism. Bureau of Counterterrorism. U.S. Department of State. This is U.S. Department of State. This is coming from the intelligence of America. I am not, it is from their own Twitter handle. I am bringing this news to you. I didn't, a verified State Department Bureau of Counterterrorism in the USA. This is what they posted. This is what they posted a few, hours ago. In Nigeria, Atpotus has been clear. Who is Atpotus? The United States President, Donald Trump, has been clear that radical Islamist terrorists are responsible for the mass slaughter of Christians. Radical Islamist terrorists are responsible for the mass slaughter of Christians. Designated terrorist groups, including ISWAP and Boko Haram, as well as violent Fulani militant, that one we call Fulani herdsmen. They call them violent Fulani militants. When they talk about ISWAP, they say ISWAP. They talk about Boko Haram. But the worst and the craziest of them all is what? The violent Fulani militants. The one that you all know. Headsmen that are moving around with weapons, knives, slitting throats, ravaging communities, chasing them away and taking over their land, taking over their communities. Designated terrorist groups, including ISWAP. This is coming from the U.S. Department of State Department. Are you seeing it? ISWAP and Boko Haram, as well as violent Fulani militants, cite establishing an Islamic caliphate as their motive. This goes beyond land disputes. Moral clarity matters. This is coming from the Department of State. The reason they are sweeping everywhere and unaliving people, kidnapping and collecting ransom, and they are using the ransom to buy more sophisticated weapons, is because they want to establish an Islamic caliphate. That is their motive. This goes beyond land grabbing or land disputes, excuse me. This goes beyond land disputes. So you can already see it. There's somebody below that, Ugo Will, made a comment. Nigeria president is a drug lord, while the vice president is a terrorist. Both are happy that Christians are being slaughtered because they support Islamization agenda. Nigerians want both of them out of office. Now, this one is talking about out of office. If they go out of office, who else will take over? The same group of politicians. Out of office will not solve this problem, my brother. It is outright dividing of that country. That is the only solution. That is the only solution. Outright dividing of that evil contraption. Now, in a minute, let me bring you more updates about this. Let me stretch this out. Excuse me. Okay. Now, somebody wrote, wait. No, before I bring you what this person wrote, let me bring us news from our own attorney to Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako. In a minute, hold on. Where is that news? Okay. I'm being careful so that I will not display any gory image. That might be a problem to our viewing. Okay. All right. I've seen what I'm looking for. Let's see this. Excuse me, I'm having consistent hiccup. All right. Aloy Ejimako wrote. Now, I believe you can see that. He said, after spending over 10 billion to prosecute, convict, and sentence Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria has spent over 10 billion to prosecute, convict, and sentence Nnamdi Kanu for mere broadcasts made from a foreign soil. They said they sentenced him from broadcasting from a foreign soil. Jurisdiction already destroys that because Nnamdi Kanu did not broadcast from Nigeria. He broadcasted from what? A foreign soil. And now they sentenced him for that. And they spent 10 billion. They kidnapped him from Kenya and they came to Nigeria and they sentenced him. The same government paid 10 billion to the real terrorists operating within its own soil. Are you following? And I believe Donald J. Trump is saying this. The same government paid 10 billion to the real terrorists operating within its own soil. Undo this grave injustice to Nnamdi Kanu, or more karma will come. You know, Aloy Ejimako is now talking the way I talk. Aloy Ejimako is now speaking the way I speak. You know, I've been telling Nigerian government that the more they hold Nnamdi Kanu, the more their problem will expand. The more they will put themselves in graver danger. Because Nnamdi Kanu, every minute he spends in solitary confinement, God is counting it for you. And some of you, you say you are fighting for your God. Some of them claim they are fighting for their God, their Islamic God. Every minute, Nnamdi Kanu spends in solitary confinement. The Almighty Chukwuki Kabia, my God Almighty, He is counting it for you. He's going to accumulate your judgments because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been vindicated. The court has set him free. Everything he has told you is coming to pass. Recently, one young man called Simon, a TikToker, was crying and saying, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's the only one that has the solution to all your problems. Have I not been saying it several times here? The Sultan of Sokoto was praising Boko Haram. I still have the video. The Sultan of Sokoto, who happened to be a very respected figure. So tell me why Nigeria government will not pay the same Boko Haram 10 billion. They counted money, 10 billion, and gave to terrorists. They paid terrorists. Tomorrow now you will hear them coming to deny. They say it's not true, it's not true. They've forgotten that Bayo Onanuga told us on live TV that those people that were kidnapped in Kwara, that the government called the people that kidnapped them and they released the people because they know that if they don't release them, they know what the government will do to them. That's what Bayo Onanuga said, that it was a call, they communicated with them, and they know because they are afraid of the government, they release them. And now we are hearing that with evidence from the State Department that Nigeria is actually paying these people. They're paying terrorists. What is terrorists going to use the money to do? They are buying more weapons. They are buying more weapons to now completely finish you. My joy and the joy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and everyone that believes in our freedom is that we are being vindicated every day. And the more they hold us back from going home, the more terrible it becomes for them. You see, all these terrorists that are breeding up, they're coming for you. I am going to play a video from the former CDS, the army chief of Nigeria, Musa himself. So, sometimes they don't even know that there are records being kept. I will play video of Musa, but before I play video of Musa, finish what Aloy Ejimakor is commenting on here. Aloy Ejimakor is commenting on this news from the People's Gazette. This is the People's Gazette. He says, Tinubu's government, but it is not allegedly, in the zoo. How many of you know that they always like to use the word allegedly? This time around, allegedly have flown out of the window. This one is not allegedly. Nobody's alleging. That's why you did not hear our lawyer alleging, allegedly. No, our lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor, he did not allege here. He said the same government paid 10 billion to the real terrorists. It's not allegedly. Because Aloy Ejimakor understand that if this thing is allegedly, he would have put it. Because if he didn't put it, they will use it against him. They will come and arrest him and say, you are accusing government. Now, Aloy Ejimakor is quoting a reputable news house. They call them the People's Gazette. The People's Gazette. Tinubu's government paid 10 billion naira to Boko Haram to free abducted school children, teachers, agents, France Press. How many of you know that they started working with France lately? And then the agency that they use or whatever, France Press, however the news came, look at the people that are paying money. Tinubu government paid 10 billion to Boko Haram to free these people. 10 billion was paid. 10 billion was paid. Somebody said, indeed, karma is angry. They will pay more. And you know why they will pay more? You know why they will pay more? You know why they will pay more? These terrorists that they paid money, they didn't even think, what will these terrorists use this money to do? To buy more weapons. Now, if the weapon they had before enabled them to kidnap 500 people, and then you paid them 10 billion, it means that you have given them the capacity to kidnap a whole village. You've given them the capability to increase their manpower or their weapon power so that they will be able to overwhelm you and kidnap more. And the next thing you will pay them is 100 billion. After all, during the time of Tinubu, during the time of Buhari, do you know how many of you remember that Buhari gave Mieti Allah 100 billion? 100 billion was given to Mieti Allah. That was the foundation. 100 billion was given to Mieti Allah. That was the foundation of it all. You get it? You get it? Now, let me show you, Musa. Let us watch this video together. Listen to this. This is the former chief of defense staff. The former chief of defense staff. This is when he was the Oga of the military. Listen to him, what he said. Thank God, so not be me talking. This is not allegedly anymore. Listen to him.
Not allowing the enemy to break into gaps between us. Boko Haram started because we protected them.
Boko Haram started because we protected them. This is coming from Musa. Musa. Boko Haram started because we protected them. Start from the beginning.
Not allowing the enemy to break into gaps between us. Boko Haram started because we protected them. They started as a small group, and if it had been nipped in the bud, we probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today.
They started as a small group. They protected them. If they were nipped in the bud, they wouldn't have been where they are today. All the time Boko Haram was spreading, Nnamdi Kanu was talking. MNK was talking. We were on the media shouting, these are terrorists. You people you are reintegrating these terrorists. The vice president now, in his home, Boko Haram members were found in his home. The former chief of defense staff, Theophilus Danjuma, told you that your own army, they collude. This man that is talking, did he not hear Theophilus Danjuma when he said that the army, they collude? Now he's granting press. He said Boko Haram was protected. Today, the thing you hear today from news is that villages and communities that are overwhelmed, overpowered, and kidnapped, everyone kidnapped, that when they come in to take over, the military people that were in those villages or in those cities, before, in those towns before, somebody will call and withdraw them. The report will come that it was when the military were withdrawn that the terrorists came and they operated. Sometimes they operate for up to 10 hours. They withdraw the military. And then the terrorists come and they will feel free, operate, and when they finish, they go. And they will go away with hundreds of people. Do you know what it takes to move away 200 or 300 people? You need a convoy. So that means they kidnap people and they move on convoy and they take them wherever they want. In Nigeria. That's in the north. But you know what these bastards are doing? As I'm talking to you now, Biafra Liberation Army that are in the forest, in the bush, protecting our land, not harassing anybody, not kidnapping anybody, just to protect our land because they do not want these terrorists to come in. Do you know what these armies are doing? They are going there and they are bombarding. They are looking for them. They are looking for them. They are looking for Biafra Liberation Army. They are not looking for terrorists. They are looking for Biafra security. If you ask them, they'll call it ESN. And what is ESN? Eastern Security Network. If you ask them, they will say it's IPOB. And what's IPOB? Indigenous people of Biafra. They are the ones these bastards are looking for. They are not looking for the terrorists. That this Onyoshi, this hopeless idiot that God will punish, have told you today that they protected them. They protected them. Let us allow him to talk. In fact, I will allow him to finish and then maybe play it back again for us to talk. I am telling you, I am so happy that these things are coming out. Our prime minister needs this video in Finland. I think the Finnish government should hear this. Now, Nigeria army chief is telling you that they protected Boko Haram terrorists, and you are holding Simon Ekpa. You are holding Nnamdi Kanu. God will punish you. If you hold them one more minute, you will all be punished by the Most High God. I'm telling you, something must be wrong with all of you. Let's listen to Musa.
Not allowing the enemy to break into gaps between us. Boko Haram started because we protected them.
Listen up.
They started as a small group, and if it had been nipped in the bud, we probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. The Lakrawas came in, we brought them in, and we said they are our friends and their families until they started attacking us. The message here is, when you grow a monster, he grows beyond you and wants to take more from you. So we must learn to say no to monsters. Any evil one that means by planning any evil against this country must never ever be supported, because it is the silence of the majority that gives them that opportunity to grow to who they become. The people must be part of the solution. I always want to remind people that the citizens, that the terrorists survive within the communities. If we allow them, they will thrive. If we disallow them, they will never survive. First and Second World War was very clear. When citizens stood up against the enemy, they didn't give them food, they didn't give them fuel, because sometimes you sit down and think, 16 years we'll be fighting Boko Haram, how have they been surviving? Who has been funding them? These are questions we should ask ourselves. Where are they getting the fuel they're getting? They're getting from us. We have commercial drivers that will go and take full tank, go out, go and siphon fuel and give them. Sometimes they have pre-arranged locations. They siphon fuel in jerrycans, dig holes and drop in and phone them and tell them where the fuel. These are the people that keep them going. So why are we doing this to ourselves? What is the motive? Are you going to be happy if your country fails? You want to be a refugee or an IDP somewhere else? Those are questions we must be able to ask and answer. This is why forums such as this are invaluable. They provide a platform for citizens to receive first-hand information from government and security practitioners. Such transparent engagement not only build trust, but also...
You know why I'm laughing? You know why I'm laughing? Let me remove him first from the big screen. I will play it again. This guy is preaching. He's just preaching. They make Lakurawa and all these terrorists. He said they make them their friends. He's telling you how they dig holes and put jerrycan of fuel and the terrorists come and take it. Because he knows all this system. He knows. Because they are the ones that have been operating that style. He knows them. So ask this bastard, why is he preaching? Why is he not taking action? This man, this fool here, this evil man, he knows very well that the governor of Zamfara State have told them, we know where the terrorists are. We know them. They are our brothers. We know where they are. We know where they live. We know their names. We know them. They live with us. So why is this bastard coming to a seminar to preach to you? He is the chief of defense staff. He's now the minister of defense. America, for only one strike that America struck, America knew a target in Sokoto. They struck them. Pam, 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 pam. America needed to take out Maduro. They knew what to do. They didn't come and start telling you, hey, Maduro is doing this, do that. Maduro, hey, one day, hand will catch him. No, they went straight. They took out Maduro immediately because they already identified the problem. Why do you need to complain when you know the problem? You know where they are. You know who they are. You know where they live. And you also know their sponsor. One of their major sponsor that we all know, Malami, he's locked up right now. Another sponsor that we all know, El-Rufai, they are holding him now. One of their head friends that used to eat with them, he's the vice president. They used to eat together around table. Boko Haram. Their minister, their prayer warrior, or their senior spiritual man that will tell you that, look, they are not really Boko Haram. All they need to do is they are just fighting for their rights. They are not who they say they are. They are good people. You know him. His name is Sultan of Sokoto. So this buffoon here that calls himself Christopher Musa, he knows the terrorists, he knows the sponsors, he knows what to do, but he's just talking, preaching about it. Like me now, I don't know where they are. I have no connection with the governor of Zamfara State. I am not a politician. I don't live in the zoo. Nnamdi Kanu, he doesn't know where they are. He's not a politician. He doesn't live in Nigeria. Simon Ekpa, he doesn't know where they live. He doesn't know where they are. But we know that someone that knows them, that works in the government, has exposed them. The current Minister of State for Defense, Matawale, the terrorists came out and said the vehicles they use were purchased by him. Hello? Is Musa not aware? No. Ask Musa. Ask this buffoon, are you not aware that Matawale, the current Minister of State for Defense, was the one that purchased vehicles for Turaj? Turaj, the terrorist that you have arrested several times and left him, and he went and took chieftaincy title. A terrorist that have unalived people. They arrest him, they leave him, they arrest him, they leave him. Finally, when they left him, he went to his village and he took chieftaincy titles and they were shooting guns. Terrorists. Musa was the Minister of Defense. Was the Chief of Defense Staff when all these things were going on. Now, he's asking people, would you want your country to fail? You are a fool. Would you want your country to fail? What will you gain? You know the terrorists, you know where they are. You know the sponsors, you know where they are. If you want to deny, you don't know. The governors of the states where they are operating, they will lead you where they are. How did I forget about Gumi? Gumi knows them very well. Gumi is actually their spokesman. Donald J. Trump, and every one of you that are concerned, this is a real issue we're talking about. This man knows he's not doing anything. How about the wife of the president? Okay, I said I was going to analyze this thing. What else do I analyze? You heard him when he said, let me just repeat this video again so that you hear him. He said that Makarawa, that they are their friends. Listen to him again. Let me just play it one more time.
Not allowing the enemy to break into gaps between us. Boko Haram started because we protected them.
Okay. They protected them.
They started as a small group, and if it had been nipped in the bud, we probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. The Lakrawas came in, we brought them in, and we said they are our friends and their families until they started.
The Lakrawas came in. Lakrawas, they are those part of them that Donald Trump struck in Sokoto. He said the Lakrawas came in, we said that they were part of our friends and they are our brothers. Look at them. Who are those that told you that Lakrawa were their friends? That means they are the ones that will give you the intel on how to eliminate them. But you don't want to eliminate them. No. You don't want to eliminate them. You are paying them 10 billion naira.
If it had been nipped in the bud, we probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. The Lakrawas came in, we brought them in, and we said they are our friends and their families until they started attacking us. The message here is when you grow a monster, it grows beyond you.
When you grow a monster, it grows beyond you. So that means the chief of defense staff, who is now the minister of defense, is telling you that Nigeria by itself have grown a monster. That monster is not Nnamdi Kanu. That monster is not Simon Ekpa. That monster is Boko Haram terrorists, Fulani militants, violent militants. You have grown them. But instead of you to go after them, you are going after the man that kept telling you that these guys are evil, they are terrorists. You have grown the monster. But you're not going after the monster. You are coming after us. Those of us that are exposing the monster. Now tell me, somebody like me now that is speaking like this, somebody that speaks like this, I cannot go to Nigeria. You know why? Because they will arrest me. What's my crime? I am speaking against terrorists. This same terrorist that this bastard here is telling you that they grew a monster. I am not doing any other thing than speaking against those terrorists. That we need to eliminate them and stop them. That we need to free ourselves from them and become our own country. If I step my foot now in Nigeria, they will pick me up. Yes, they'll pick me up. And even if they don't see me, somebody will be at the airport and point, hey, Ijele will be at the airport. Hey, that one. Or he can go, that one, you see him, he's IPOB. Arrest him. He said you should go after terrorists. He is a terrorist. Are you following? Tell me, do these people want to do anything about this situation? God punish all of you. Let me leave the bastard. Let me show you another one. I think, let me show you the video of Tinubu's wife. Tinubu's wife. A shame. Somebody wrote, and I am, okay. Somebody wrote, and I want to read what he wrote. Mazionwe, he said, a peaceful separation remains with, he said, anything other than this is merely treating the symptoms rather than addressing the root cause. He wrote and tagged Riley Moore and Donald J. Trump. He said, a peaceful separation remains the only viable solution to Nigeria's recurring problems. We must embrace a live and let's live philosophy, where each region is free to govern itself and pursue its own path. Forced unity only leads to the kind of tension and conflict we see today. It is time to recognize that moving forward separately is the most respectful and effective way for all groups to thrive. Simple. Now, this video will amaze you. This is coming from CBN. It says, Tinubu's wife says it's all a lie. There is no genocide. In an exclusive interview with CBN News, Nigeria First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who is a pastor, rejects claims of Christian genocide and pushes back on claims that Christians are being systematically exterminated. What else? One of the most dangerous places for Christians worldwide is Nigeria. More than a decade of deadly violence has drawn international scrutiny, prompted U.S. military action, and fueled debate over whether Africa's most populous nation is facing genocide. CBN News reports. Now let's listen to this CBN News.
Prompted.
Let's listen to CBN News. On this news, you will hear Tinubu's wife. It will shock you.
Nigeria is one of the most dangerous places in the world to be a Christian. Ongoing attacks by ISIS, other terror groups, prompted President Trump to launch a missile strike last year on Christmas Day. Well, now U.S. troops are on the ground, training the Nigerian military how to fight terrorists. John Jessup interviewed Nigeria's First Lady about the decades of religious violence in her country.
As American intelligence forces help Nigeria to prevent attacks like these, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu is on a diplomatic mission to explain her country's complexities, dealing with poverty, tribalism, and claims of genocide.
While it may not meet the technical definition, many Christians associate your country with genocide. Is there genocide in Nigeria?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so because when you look at these areas, it was first the headers conflict, and it has been there for years. And when you come into an environment that are mainly Christians, when you attack them because you go into their farmlands, and then when you have terrorists and people kidnapping for money, and when the world is throwing a narrative that is Christian genocide, they will now hit on that and begin to attack churches. And you should remember, we are getting into the election year. So there are a lot of things going on that, we don't believe that, it's really.
Are you listening to her? The most important thing for her is the election year. Election year. That's the most important thing to her. The only reason why she is fighting against the truth is because of election year. Pastor, Christians are being massacred. In some of the northern states, Christians are scarce. No more churches standing. In Southern Kaduna, for example, some people don't go to church anymore. In Zamfara, in all the 14 local government areas, you will hardly find churches standing. In Borno, hey, churches are scarce over there. Over there, churches are scarce. And this one, she's a pastor, and she said there is no genocide. Are you listening to her? This is unbelievable.
And begin to attack churches. And you should remember, we are getting into the election year. So there are a lot of things going on that, we don't believe that, it's really genocide the way it's being portrayed.
Answers like these underscore a challenging landscape, divided between Nigeria's northern Muslim majority and Christian predominance in the.
Answers like these challenges what? Repeat that language you said again.
Portrayed.
Answers like these underscore a challenging landscape.
Underscores a challenging landscape. Answers like this underscores a challenging landscape. Look at that. The places on red are majorly Muslims. Mostly Muslim area. The Christians there are being targeted for extermination. And then they are pushing into this blues area, and now they are operating very strongly, overpowering and overtaking, and the government are doing nothing about it. Answers like these are very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Now let's listen to CBN News.
Divided between Nigeria's northern Muslim majority and Christian predominance in the south. They also fuel anger from those who point out that while thousands of Muslims have been killed, Christians are systematically targeted, kidnapped, and women and young girls often forced to marry their captors.
Holy Spirit, come and lead.
As an ordained Pentecostal pastor married to a Muslim president, even Tinubu isn't immune to religious threats.
There was a Muslim cleric that said, I'm a heathen, that, I should be stoned or I should be, killed. And most of the people who spoke up for me are from the north.
Is that a common feeling, though, that he articulated?
Maybe because my husband is Muslim and because he's the president. So why should I be, practicing Christianity openly?
Because you're highly visible.
Of all the Christians.
I hear that the answer is a simple question. Is that something that is common? Of course, it's something that is common. But now she's saying it is because her husband, maybe her husband is a Muslim. Hey. Oh my God.
Killed in 2025, more than 70% happened here. While the government refuses to frame it as genocide, President Trump has, shining a spotlight on the issue when he ordered airstrikes on terrorist holdouts last Christmas, a move the First Lady says Nigerians welcomed.
I would thank President Trump for what he did for us in Sokoto State, and I think it really helped during even the CAN president, the Christian Association of Nigeria. The president said this is the first Christmas that none was attacked.
She tells CBN News her husband, Bola Tinubu, is also taking action, authorizing joint military operations, intelligence sharing, and recruiting 20,000 police and security forces to fight terrorism. For many, these moves come too late, and with thousands of lives lost and millions displaced at too high a cost.
And you have a government in Nigeria that practices denial.
While in Washington, Tinubu embarked on what many call a charm offensive, talking trade and improved U.S.-Nigeria relations.
We're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria, a very respected woman. First Lady, please, where are you? Thank you very much.
She served as a pastor in the largest church in Nigeria, the largest church that doesn't care that Christians are being massacred. The pastor of that largest church is also part of those denying Christian genocide or refusing to speak because Tinubu is a Yoruba man. Before Tinubu was there, most of them were complaining about Christian genocide, including that pastor and his friends. They complained so much about Christian genocide. But now, no, they're giving it a blind eye because Tinubu is there. This woman, the Tinubu's wife, is a pastor in the church, and they are keeping quiet. Nigeria need to end. Believe me, it should end.
It's a great honor.
President Trump even recognized her at the National Prayer Breakfast. On the home front, Tinubu sees her nearly 40-year interfaith marriage as an aspiration for Nigeria.
The Holy Spirit kept telling me, you have to speak to these young people, to be patient. And you can see with me married to a Muslim, it's not easy. But because of that, drew me more to God, because I know if I'm going to enjoy my marriage, Jesus has to come in. And give me that peace I needed, because my husband is a good man.
A former senator and teacher, the First Lady is also an author, podcast host, preaching monthly, and an advocate for education and women's health. She sees her main role through the lens of living out her faith.
It's in Isaiah 55, where it said,
I don't even know why CBN gave her this audience. CBN, I don't really... Do you know that a secular news station that understand how dangerous what she's coming to do is? That's why I detest some of this Pentecostal movement, honestly. Pat Robertson, son, the owner of this CBN News, the father also ran for presidency in America some time ago. I don't know why they gave this woman this audience to come and do this damage control. A secular news station rejected her because they don't want to use their station to promote this nonsense or this lie. CBN granted her audience. But this audience that CBN granted her, can't you see now that is a disgrace? It's a big disgrace because even the Department of State now, the intel coming from the American government themselves proves that there is genocide. There is a targeted attempt at people of other faiths. Let me allow this to finish, but this is disgusting. I feel very angry already.
You will build the, broken walls and then build the foundations of many generations. And that is what we're trying to do in this government. I'm trying to see what I can do to support, trying to engage the youth positively.
Very evil woman.
So that they can do well. While my husband deal with the more harder stuff.
Harder things like convincing people at home and abroad that the Nigerian government is finally ready to root out terrorism and religious violence across the African nation.
Now, convincing the whole world that Nigeria is finally ready to root out terrorists, but they've been caught pants down. Does America pay terrorists $10 million? They are paying 10 billion of the currency in Nigeria to terrorists who will buy arms to continue kidnapping. Tell me, CBN News, does America, he said her husband is working very hard on the other front. The husband is working, is paying sycophants to sing on your mandate to make sure that he rigs election and remains in power, and then paying terrorists to appease them while the kidnapping continues in a massive scale. I hope you're seeing it.
John Jessup, CBN News, Washington.
Well, it's been a hotbed of terrorism for some time, and whether you call it ISIS or Boko Haram, there's been a concerted effort to have the Saharan Muslim nations have that ideology spread through terror to the southern part of Africa, which is largely Christian. So it's a culture battle, it's a terrorism battle, ideology battle. But what a great symbol that a Muslim and a Christian could be married and rule the very nation, which is the epicenter of this conflict. Let's continue to pray for Nigeria, that it would turn and be what it so is worth.
I think I should shut this. I didn't even know that this. I didn't know that these things like this, I shouldn't even have given it an attention. Believe me, because for them to have given this woman this kind of attention, it's a shame. It's a shame. Now, see the news, the real news going on right now, and actually trending. Look at this report. FG paid Boko Haram 2 billion ransom for St. Mary pupils. This one only for this school alone, St. Mary. This St. Mary school. The people that were kidnapped from this St. Mary school in Niger State. This one is not the Kwara State only. In Niger State alone, they paid 2 billion. 2 billion. So they are spreading the money and paying these terrorists. Nnamdi Kanu, in his hands, he has truth and justice. Truth and justice. And they're holding him. We shall see. Now, this is a terrorist sitting down with AK-47. And this terrorist is granting interview to BBC. And what is he saying? He said, we were paid. This is what this terrorist is saying. He was saying it in their language, and BBC had translated it. We were paid 60 million naira by the government, to release the girls. We use the money to buy more rifles. Terrorists confirm. The government has been paying terrorists. Do not let them suppress the truth with their lies. That's what this terrorist was saying.
About the millions.
Those that understand the Hausa, let me play it. It's only 1 minute, so that it will establish on this channel that we played it, okay? Maybe the American government should look for someone to interpret it for them. Very important.
To kaman yaya bayan an yi maganganu nawa aka biya ko me aka yi aka.
The truth is even there. It's even being translated in English by BBC, so you won't have a problem of getting to hear what it's saying. It's been translated. Let me put my picture smaller, much smaller, so that this image will be bolder. And then for those that want to read it, you will. Those that want to read, you will read. Okay, it will be much better for you now. Let's play it.
To kaman yaya bayan an yi maganganu nawa aka biya ko me aka yi aka ba da yara.
Da mun ce za a ba mu miliyan 300. Daga baya aka haɗa mu da wasu aka yi ta maganganu, shine dai suka ba da miliyan 60 aka sake su. Aka suka bayar. Miliyan 60 suka bayar aka sake su.
Miliyan 60. Kaga miliyan 60 din?
Da ido na mu muka karɓo su.
To me kuka yi da wannan kuɗin?
Mun ƙaro bindigogi ne da su. Mun sai wasu bindigogi ba don da tun ɗazun ne da na aika an ɗauko ma bindigar da na so da su. In gwada maka ma bindigar da na so da irin kuɗi.
The Zamfara State Governor, denies that any ransom was paid to the bank.
Now, let me play it again. I will be reading it out so that you will hear it. Okay?
To kaman yaya
What
bayan
was done to
an
free
yi
the girl?
maganganu nawa aka biya ko me aka yi
How
aka
much was paid after
ba
the
da yara?
negotiations?
Da mun ce za a ba mu
We
miliyan
demanded
300.
300 million naira.
Daga baya aka haɗa mu da wasu aka yi ta
60 million
maganganu
naira
shine dai suka ba da miliyan 60 aka sake su. Aka suka bayar.
was paid.
Miliyan 60 suka bayar aka sake su.
Miliyan 60.
60 million? For sure.
Kaga miliyan 60 din?
Da ido na mu muka karɓo
Yes,
su.
with my eyes. We took the money.
To me kuka yi da wannan
What did we
kuɗin?
do with it?
Mun ƙaro
We
bindigogi ne da
bought
su.
more rifles.
Mun sai wasu bindigogi ba don da
If it wasn't so
da
late,
tun ɗazun
I've
ne
spent for
da
the
na
rifle.
aika an ɗauko ma bindigar da na so da su. In gwada maka ma bindigar da na so da irin kuɗi.
The Zamfara State Governor denies that any ransom was paid to the bank.
Are you hearing that? So, this is happening in Nigeria. Happening in Nigeria.
To kaman yaya
Happening in Nigeria. Let me see if there's another update I was supposed to read to you. Now, somebody wrote, can we continue to live in the same country with these radical Islamist terrorists in North, since the world leaders know now that they are responsible for the killings of Christians in Nigeria? Should we continue to live with them? That's a question. Now, you see the news is here. We have our own Fares here, our own guy. Christian genocide, Biafra sovereignty, the only formidable solution, Dr. Walid. You've seen that. You've seen that. Okay. Let me see if there's any other update I should have brought to you. Now, Save Nigeria Christians. Christianity in the northern Nigeria is under a severe and undeniable threat. Christians are being slaughtered in alarming numbers by jihadist extremist groups, while communities are displaced and their land seized by terrorists who make everyday life unbearable. This crisis cannot continue to be ignored or downplayed. If Nigeria is truly serious about tackling insecurity, then authorities must investigate and hold accountable anyone perceived to be defending or speaking on behalf of these violent groups, including Sheikh Gumi. Addressing insecurity requires confronting every enabler, sympathizer, or apologist tied to terrorism. Only by going to the root of the problem can Nigeria begin to restore peace and justice. Going to the root of the problem. Look at it. Look at Sheikh Gumi there together with terrorists. And now by the right side, you see our own brother, Pastor, Dachomo, who is praying and having, Christians buried in mass graves. Now, this is a report from our brother 1 hour ago, from our brother Joseph Okechukwu. Nigerian First Lady is a pastor who rejects genocide claims, but the persecution is real. CBN wrote. Okay, CBN have tried to write that the persecution is real. When a foreign entity calls it a duty to fast-check your First Lady on an issue that has become like a 9-month-old pregnancy that can't be covered, then you really have gotten to the end of the road. Shameful. CBN News wrote this. One of the most dangerous places for Christians worldwide is Nigeria. More than a decade of deadly violence has drawn international scrutiny, prompted U.S. military action, and fueled the debate over whether Africa's most populous nation is facing genocide. In an exclusive interview with CBN News, Nigeria First Lady Oluremi Tinubu pushed back on claims that Christians are being systematically exterminated. What's the truth about this complex crisis? Christians are disproportionately targeted. If they are not killed, they are kidnapped for ransom, lose their homes, farmland, and churches. And in some cases, women and young girls are forced into marrying their captors. More than 70% of Christians killed worldwide in recent years have died in Nigeria, according to Open Doors. So despite Tinubu's wife damage control at CBN, this post is what CBN posted like 3 hours ago. Like 3 hours ago. How long ago? They posted this about 3 hours ago. You can see that here. About 3 hours ago, CBN posted this. So, dead on arrival, Tinubu's wife. Nigeria First Lady is a pastor who rejects genocide claims, but the persecution is real. This is from CBN. Shame on you, Oluremi Tinubu. And then we had this video from this shameless Musa. Is there any other update? This one is an update from Trending. Just in. This was about 14 hours ago. The U.S. Department of Counterterrorism has reiterated that the motive behind radical Islamist terrorists slaughtering Christians at scale in Nigeria is to establish an Islamic caliphate, not a land dispute or communal crisis. It has been established. America is aware. The whole world is aware. So we'll move. Thank you for joining me tonight to give this update. I love you all, and by the grace of Chukwu Kabiama Premi Henry. I'll see you later this morning because it's already past midnight here. Thank you very much and have a good night. I will leave you with Clinton's message of Nigeria must be divided. Let us divide, man. I'm tired.
I think I've now come to terms with the fact that for us to have proper rapid development in Nigeria, we need to separate, we need to divide. Let the Yoruba man go their way, let the Northerners go their way, let the Easterners go their way. This thing about one Nigeria is definitely not going to work, Chacha. Wallahi. You cannot have South Africans clowning us. You cannot have Ghanaians clowning us. And now you now have Namibians clowning us. One Nigeria is definitely not going to work. You cannot have a simple argument or a debate with anybody from Africa right now, and you are able to win. You speak one, they tell you electricity. You speak two, they tell you security. You cannot travel 10 kilometers without writing your will. They speak about bad road. They've gone as low as internet. We need to divide. This thing about one Nigeria is not going to work. Having one person as a president sitting in one place called Aso Rock, deciding the fate of 300 million people, especially when you know these are the least smartest people in the country, it's not going to work. Let us bring some kind of competition within these different regions, instead of having to depend and say everything has to do with the federal government. Ordinary electricity. I was thinking this thing about electricity in Ghana was a joke, but apparently these guys are having the best type of electricity like they were in Europe. In Nigeria, you can't even boast of 24 hours electricity. In year 2026, we need to divide, man. The only war we are winning right now in Nigeria is just jollof rice, and then maybe dirty December, clubbing alcohol. No, we can do better. This thing about what Nigeria is 300 million people. When you look at these other countries I'm speaking about, you look at Ghana, they are not even up to 40 million. Namibia, 3 million on a good day. RCCG is bigger than Namibia. The Youth Ministry of Christ and Mercy, they are bigger than Namibia. Yeah, these people, they are clowning us every single day. Nigerians cannot win one war. You cannot have a normal debate and say you are going to win. Everybody, they are clowning us. Giant of Africa, my foot. Let everybody go develop their region. Chase the Igbo man from the West. Go chase the Yoruba men from the East, let them go back. Everybody go make your region better. Go find the Igbo man in the North. Let everybody, but depending on one president to make these things happen is definitely not going to work. We are too many, we are too populated for this whole one Nigeria affair. It's not going to work. Let us divide. I am tired. I am tired. The bare minimum. We are not even speaking about healthcare. We are not even speaking about child mortality, education. Just the basics we cannot even be proud of. Not one Nigeria, my foot. Everybody go your way. Let's do a referendum. Let the people decide. Nonsense, man. I'm tired.
Me
Tell me what we do, everybody want to kill us. They want to take what belongs to us. We they love our neighbors, so we they love ourselves too. So it is written in the holy book. You find a channel, na meranyi biko kodo onyolu welu mono aya na meranyi do onyolu welu mono onyo chai chukwu kikele anyị na bogi bia nyela the time is now. We want to go. Remember your promises. Oh, na me oh, onuzo kebiafra me rani onuzo kebiafra na me rani onuzo kebiafra me rani onuzo kebiafra Ndiro maranyi buruburu anachi wepunda anyị n'ike shata oh they are holding our lead Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now is Prime Minister Mazi Simon we shall rise and defend our land the land of rising sun is our hope Yogi bikonu sitende muziki kame iwele